Good morning, and thank you for tuning in to Sundays at the Square. My name is Toni Ringgold, and today I have to be honest with you, I've been going through a whole lot this week. As many of you know, there's been an extreme amount of violence that has peaked this week, but it has been going on since the beginning of this country. We are experiencing a lot of violence within different communities, and today, I couldn't do just another show. I couldn't talk about, some kids' carnival or a football game or whatever. I really couldn't do any other show but to really address what's going on in our world. I have some guests with me today. They're going to really talk and try to give us some guidance on what we need to do as a community. I am a proud African-American woman, Black, unapologetically. And I have to be honest, I'm really struggling right now. I'm a wife of a Black man. I'm a mother of 2 Black sons, and I have a Black daughter. And the pain that I'm feeling, y'all, it's unimaginable. Yesterday I was in HEB and I saw all of these Black faces and people of other races as well. And everyone had such a somber mood. There was no hi, how you doing? It was just a look up and a crack of a smile. Excuse me softly as we hustled and bustled and did our shopping. There's definitely a complete emotional change that we're going through as a country. And there are people that are really upset. As we know, Alton Sterling and Philando Castile were killed. We also know that there were some Dallas police officers that were killed as well. We know that there are countless Black faces that have died at the hands of law enforcement. We talk about Black on Black crime, but 85% of whites that are murdered are murdered by white people. We don't hear white on white crime. Let's really talk today, and I hope that my listeners can gain some knowledge, some understanding, and most of all, some hope to dealing with what we're going through in this country. I'm going to have my guests introduce themselves, and we have quite a few. We have some dynamic people in the room that are not just people that talk about it, but they are about it. They do things in the community, and they really, really, really want to see a change. So I'm going to allow them to each introduce themselves, and then we're going to jump right in.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Tay Beasley. I orchestrated a group on Facebook called I Buy Black. It's more geared towards Black economics, getting money circulated in our own community. It's to spread knowledge of Black-owned businesses that we may not be aware of, that's not only in this immediate Killeen area, but all over the nation. And one of the brothers here also, we've gotten in touch with people in Europe as well to try to spread the knowledge around there. And, we really need to get support up in our own community. And, that's what I'm here for.
My name is Rodney Duckett. I'm with Impact Intelligent Minds, Proven and Applying Commitment. Our focus is commitment. Our focus is commitment to thyself, commitment to the family, and commitment to society at large. Also, we have a television show run by youth called At Our Youth Chat, the chat that everybody needs to hear. It deals with the educational dialogue used to curtail the national epidemic of juvenile delinquency. Tune in every second Friday of the month at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday at 10 a.m.
I'm Breeon Price, CEO of Brotherhood, and we also do a lot of good things in the community. I always try to help give back, but right now the fight is for stopping the violence, and I was part of helping do the Stop the Violence event June 26th, so we're just here to just do what we're supposed to do, stand up as a people.
My name is Dr. Real. Everybody knows about Craig Watson. I'm an inspirational speaker. But my main mission is to inspire people to change one mind, and that's yours, because it starts there. The Chinese always say the journey of 1,000 steps starts with one, and we all got to come together as one to make this happen.
My name is Shytavia Johnson. I'm a co-founder of Trinity of Hope, which is a nonprofit organization that was created to spread education as well as unify young children in Killeen. As well as I'm also a part of the Stop the Violence Committee that we had June 26th. And my job, and I'm just here for the community to uplift our children and give them any mentorship that they need.
Awesome. So as you can see, we do have some wonderful people here today that are going to really touch on this issue. The first question that I have, and it's something that I've talked to a bunch of people about. What do we do right now for those that feel completely hopeless? What comfort can we give at this time, or what solutions can we give? Because there's some people right now that are really going through emotional trauma from all of that's going on. So what are some of the things that we can do concerning that?
Well, I would definitely say that it's not the time to give up hope. That's what they want us to do. They want you to give up on yourselves and to feel lost and to give up on the fight. The fight is not over. If anything, our eyes are open now, so it's time for our adrenaline to rush more and to want to do more in our communities. So do not give up hope. You want to do something, get up. Go out here to our young youth who need guidance. Go educate a child. Pull the child up the street. If you see any child that's in a possible rate of going down the wrong path, speak up. So instead of feeling lost and sitting on the couch and thinking about the things that you could be doing, let's put some action into those thoughts. Make a plan. Connect with local youth. Connect with local leaders. Mr. Rodney, he's been out here doing this for a long time. Connect with people that you know and you are familiar with their faces. Extend your hand and let people know that you are out here and you want to help out people. Connect with Killeen. I know Brother Breeon and myself, Shytavia Johnson, Brother Daryl. It's a list, Danielle. It's a list of people out here who are out here for the fight, who are out here putting our action behind our words. It's time for us to stop talking and put some action and make that action be the road to our success that we need.
So what you're saying is that one of the things that you think, because I hear you mention the youth a lot, definitely. You're passionate about reaching our youth and grabbing them now.
Definitely.
So what do you do about a man who had a good job, who took care of his family, who had a permit to carry a gun, and who was shot and killed by the police by doing exactly what he was supposed to do, being a law-abiding citizen? I want Rodney to take that.
There's a psychological impairment when it comes to black-on-black crime and cop-on-black crime, and you have to get into social psychology to actually understand that question. We are the disposition because we are the people that are in the disposition that we are in. The situation is what we focus all our time and attention on, is black-on-black crime, cop-on-black crime, and the actual situations of the deaths of the blacks. The situation is really not the problem. The problem is the system. And in order to have true power, you have to deal with the system itself. Mm-hmm. See, we see things the way we want to see things based off the propaganda that's given to us. As time goes by, we'll know one thing, that story of that young black boy that was actually killed in the car will be twisted around several different times, just as so in Dallas, up and down the road. Even with media, if you look at media and you see what you see on television, you show a black boy, a young man, but he was also a soldier. But the only photo we see is the photo of the black fist that's holding up, not the mental illness that brought him to that state to actually kill.
Right.
So there's a mental illness that happens, and my biggest concern moving forward, and I've said it before, the police chiefs, I said it before on platforms, we need to teach police officers how to de-escalate a situation. I've been a nurse for 20 years. I've been a paramedic for 22 years. I go into people's homes or I meet people with no weapons. And I use my mouth as a tool, as a weapon to de-escalate a scene. I've never been hit. I've never been shot. So it's all about de-escalation process. You are here to protect and serve. Learn how to de-escalate. Also what I say, and this is truth, I'm a nurse. I have to get a PPD shot every year to make sure I don't have tuberculosis. Why? Because tuberculosis is infectious, right? We spread an infectious disease. Mental health is infectious too. Every 6 months, a cop should have a psychoanalytical profile to make sure that he has no PTSD and depression. And if he does, he needs to be removed from the police department. One of the things that we found out right here in Temple was the same thing that happened to the gentleman in Milwaukee was the same thing that happened here in Temple. A police officer reached into the car, shot inside of a car with a grandmother and a baby's mother and children in the back seat. And what was found out is that he had form of PTSD, psychological PTSD, and he was walking around with a gun. Now, as we say right now nationally, that what we need to do is have psychological screenings for those that's carrying guns. I agree with you. We'll start with the police department first.
That's good. That's good, Rodney. Okay, so Dr. Real. Craig, I know that I put something up on Facebook, and I honestly, I didn't even know that you were planning a rally, but I think that maybe you thought that I was saying that in conjunction to, or whatever, to what you were doing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've done rallies, I've done protests, I've done candlelight vigils, I've done events. I'm so tired right now. I really am. And I need you to help me understand why it's still important to do that at this point, because I'm going to tell you what my mindset is. My mindset is, okay, we can meet and we can do those things. We can have these big events and these thousands of people show up. But what's going to be the change after that? What are we going to do after that? Other than us standing in one big area screaming our issues into the air and telling each other what we already know, what's going to be the change after that? Why are we still rallying? I just got a call yesterday and they said, can you come sing at this rally? I wanted to say, no, I don't. I don't want to come sing at your rally. I'm just being real. But I said, okay, I'll do it. I'm trying to get outside of my personal feelings and understand that it's more for the good of the people, but I have to be honest and speak on it because I'm sure some of our listeners out there are feeling the same way. What is the point?
For me, rallies have always been something that, if you look at the civil rights movement, that was one of the biggest things. Civil disobedience was one of the things they used to help forward the movement. You can recruit people that can help you in rallies like that. You can bring people into the fold that may never ever cared about it, but they get there and they start seeing the human part of it. Because we always address the race and we never address the human. We seem to forget about that. If you cut me, I bleed just like anybody else, no matter what color you are. And we seem to forget that. That's why I do those things. You got to have some kind of emotional intelligence. And the first thing we do is we react and get pissed off and we're mad and angry. I understand that. We should be. But you got to have some kind of control response. Because if you don't, you have anarchy. And what will that fix? What will that prove? It won't prove anything.
Okay. I hear what you're saying, but again, why have a rally? You said a lot, but it still didn't answer my question.
Well, I just gave you the point is you can recruit people there that can help the cause.
Okay.
When you rally
so
people together, exactly, you bring people of all elements together who, again, may not even understand what you're going through, but they can either sympathize or empathize with what you're going through. And you can maybe speak to them better. You can speak to a better person with, like Rodney just illustrated, you can speak better to a person with your mouthpiece versus with a violent piece easily. I'm not saying start with a candlelight vigil or a rally. You start there, but you continue on, do other things. Where's the plan? We have a bunch of suggestions and ideas. It's time for a plan. And as you can start making plans at a rally.
Okay. Now, so they had a peaceful protest in Dallas just a couple of days ago, right? Supposed to be peaceful, supposed to be rallying, and people were killed. Do you think that that's going to make people deter them from wanting to come and be a part of things like that? Because now there's a fear that's placed in us that even if we try to go somewhere and peacefully protest, just like they did in the civil rights movement, turn dogs on us. I mean, think about Selma. You think about all of those things. What will continue to want someone to fight this fight when it seems like everywhere around us there's so much opposition and really straight up they killing us?
You know what the turning point to me of the civil rights movement was, honestly, is when Bloody Sunday was here. And now what is our social media then was television, broadcasting it to the world, what was happening here in the United States. When they saw dogs attacking kids, that galvanized that movement. It really did. It galvanized. You have to be a student of history to understand what's really happening. A lot of people are not. They're a student of the moment and not of history. Again, I'm personal about peace. Yeah, I'm angry. Like, I have 4 kids, 2 daughters and 2 sons. So I totally understand it. I've been victimized by the police myself. Understand that. But when you go in with an angry mind and you're upset and you're super emotional, you don't think, you just react. And whatever happens when you react, think about times you've been overly emotional and you reacted to something without thinking about it. What was the end result?
Okay, here's my thing. I'm with my brother here. Should we stop doing rallies? No. I mean, like you said, it's a good way to find people who have the same cause as you, who are willing to go through the same things as you, and, you know, to network within our own people to fight for the same cause. Now, here's the problem with rallies. We go out with a rally, we walk, we talk, we march, we do everything, and then we go home and do nothing, right? It doesn't need to stop at a rally, okay? After the rally, we need to continue to network, okay? We need to get support among each other. Okay, now we do have people to go to some of these rallies, like in Ferguson and everywhere else, where you have people with another agenda that come in and discredit everything that this rally is about. We have people that go out and discredit everything that Black Lives Matter is about because they don't understand it's not their reality. Because it's not their reality, they think it's not a reality at all, and that's false. Okay, so we need to, you know, it's a shame we have a country that's so concerned about a gorilla than they are about a black person getting killed. Okay, it's a shame that, you know, you have so many black people getting killed by cops, and the nation's outcry is, you know what, not all cops are bad. But let 4 cops get killed in Dallas is what? Black Lives Matter is a problem. You know, Obama is the problem. That's an issue. And the thing is, we have so many people with self-hate that are trying to discredit what we're doing ourselves. Okay, we need to get support within our own people. Okay, and you know, everybody has their own points, their own, you know, areas of focus. Mine personally is Black economics. That to me is like the beginning of a lot.
Okay, so let me stop you right there, because we done had this rally conversation for a little bit. Now I like it because we're getting to the meat and potatoes, and the real reason why I asked you to come here in the first place. Okay, so when the rally is done, we've sang "Or We Shall Overcomes," and we have "Kumbaya" and blew out the candles. What do we do now? Rodney, please take this. And then I'm going to give it to you, Tay. And then, Breeon, I want to hear from you, okay?
You got to have a plan with a purpose, with the goals and objectives go beyond pure rhetoric to take us where we are right now to where we're trying to be. And the plan has to be a multi-headed beast, but with one common interest. And that's what we're all about. That's what we're trying to establish. I sit down with this brother in a closed-door meeting a couple of days ago. There is a big age difference and an age gap, but they were very respectful because I'm very respectful of what they're trying to do. So what we have to do is we have to come together and draw the plan. I already said that I will initiate a first draft of a plan that everybody can scrutinize so that way we can be on the same thing. This brother right here talking about economics, the reason why we are the way we are is because we have no economics, and economics means power, and power means growth. They only listen to you when you have money. That's it. Period, point blank. Once you have money, everybody listens. That's how the world works. That's how the world operates. Money and power is the birth child of this movement. Civil rights movement was misguided and misled, even though I respect my forefathers, even though Dr. King himself was realizing that he was stepping into a burning house and he wanted to collect his check. It all goes back to what Dr. Claude Anderson said. The nation, and when I'm talking about the nation, the actual Indian nation declared themselves to be a nation, and then they fought for their land rights. We as black people have to come together and fight for our labor rights through reparations. And that should be the primary focus. Don't be so delusional about the situation. Even though the situation is horrible, young black people are dying on a daily basis constantly. But it's always been that way. It's always been that way. Yeah. It has. Do your history. Right up the road. Jess Washington, Waco, Texas. Learn about that lynching, what happened. Learn about that lynching, how every postcard that you see of a burning black man came from Waco. Because that was the poster child to instill fear in your heart. And like I said, and you've heard me say before, black people got to get over 3 things. The Willie Lynch doctrine. Number 1 is envy, mistrust, and fear. We've got to get over that. We do. So that's my.
Thank you, Rodney. Okay, so one of the things that I heard, because I'm one of those people, I'm about action. And what you said was you are willing to draft up a plan that we can all come together, sit down, look at the blueprint, scrutinize, highlight, red pencil, whatever, so that we can get some steps. We need some steps. For real. For real. Because if we don't really take the steps and, like you said, take our power back, do you know how much money blacks spend? Do you know that there are
$8 trillion?
Give those facts that you were giving me yesterday about how long the black dollar stays within the black community versus other demographics.
Okay. So you have your Jews, you have your Asians, you have the white people, you have Hispanics. All of their money stays within their community within between 7 days and over a month. With us black people, 6 hours. That's a problem. 6 hours. That's why we have more unemployment. That's why we have a higher dependency on welfare, on food stamps. And that's why we have a more crime in our community. Because if we be able to circulate the money within our own community, we can have better jobs or more jobs. And what does that do? That opens up people willing to donate to do stuff like me and Toni talked about yesterday, just daily needs, grocery stores, pharmacies. You know what I'm saying? We can get back to the Black Wall Street, but we have to discipline ourselves to spend money on each other first. Personally, and how do we get there? Because the thing is, like my brother said, envy and distrust. I was talking to Toni yesterday and a few other people, and I was thinking about starting a GoFundMe page for a couple of reasons. One, I have the I Buy Black group. We have about 1,000 members right now. If every person gave $1 a month, $1 a month, at the end of the year, that's at least $12,000 we can go towards either a starting black business or a black valedictorian to go to college every year. Every year. But what would be the problem? How do I know he's going to use that money for that? How do I know he's not going to pocket and go do his own thing? You know what? You don't know. But it's funny how you can go trust somebody else, not of color, to give you a sales pitch for something else. You know what I'm saying? Versus something that can possibly do good in your own community. Okay? We need to get away from just taking away from ourselves. And, black people, I'm sorry to say, but we have this crab in the bucket type of mentality. When one of us try to come up, we have this, oh, well, you a sellout. You're doing this. We need to get away from all of that. And how do we do that? Well, going to the rallies. Get people with your same agenda. Start marketing. You know what I'm saying? Push your agenda out. And hopefully more people will wake up and become more conscious and join your cause. It's baby steps. Because when I had this talk yesterday, somebody said, well, don't you, go to Walmart and you just bought a house. You think that's buying black? No, it's not. But guess what? Since I bought my house, it's now black owned. Okay. And I am talking to a black bank now to refinance my house. You know what I'm saying? What can we all do to keep this going?
Can I say something real quick? I don't know. I'm a fan of Hidden Colors. And I think this might have even been something that Dr. Umar Johnson spoke on, because I went to see him when he came to Killeen. One of the things that he spoke about was the fact that during the Civil Rights Movement, it was the black working class families that funded the movement. It was the plumbers, the electricians. And what they did was, back then, when you went to school, there used to be programs that you could partake in if you wanted to be a welder or if you wanted to be a plumber or whatever. Trade jobs, basically, that paid well. You could take those classes and by the time you graduated high school, you would be certified to do these certain jobs. And these working class families, black families that had, enough discipline to say, okay, I'm going to give this money to go towards this. That's how the Civil Rights Movement was funded. What are we doing to fund the next movement? And not only that, people, and I know that it's, it's a lack of discipline, but a lot of times it's just people don't know where to go. What entity can you think of? We have logos. We know what the McDonald's logo looks like. We can see a Starbucks cup and know that's from Starbucks. What entity, what organization besides, NAACP or whatever, can we say right now, okay, I can go take my money and I could put it here. And I know that it's not only going to come back to me in some type of way. It's going to help my community, but it's going to also help the entire country. Can somebody please tell me where that is?
I don't know if, for those who are religious, however you feel about certain religions, the Nation of Islam, they have a farm. They have things that you can put your money in. You can get rice with them. You can get your beans with them. You can get your your flour with them. They have things that you can put your money into. So you can put your money into them because they have a whole garden and a farm that they're trying to produce. Yes, locally it is in Austin, but I do have one of my brothers who brings me flour and rice and my beans and stuff whenever I want those things.
Okay.
So that is something that people can consider.
Do they have investments? What black investment firms do we have? Okay.
Unity Bank out of Houston is one of them. There's about 14 of them. The most local one is Unity Bank out of Houston. And what I'll work on with my sister Mimi is try to put together a resource kit so that way you know where to shop and buy black. As far as markets, there's an African market, and also my good friend, my sister Lavina, her store is actually a market too. She get meat there. She does get raw, fresh vegetables for gardeners that's there. So she just doesn't have the capital to create a grocery store. But it's up to us to come shop with her so she can have that capital.
So she can have that capital.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's not in Austin. That's right in Harker Heights.
Yes.
Is it 710?
Yeah,
What's 710 Edwards Drive?
Yes, 710 Edwards Drive is right next door to the East Center, right between Twin Wolves.
Okay. Great. Breeon, I want to hear from you. Because, Breeon, you represent, for me, when I look at you, you represent the people in a real way. You represent the everyday brothers that I see. And I want to know, being a person that is in a leadership role, but you also know the other side. How do we bridge that gap?
Well, that's what it's about right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's part of being a leader. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm the best leader but what I am, I'm one that learns. You know what I'm saying? I learn from other people's mistakes so that I don't bump my head that way. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like if we start leading from our heart, and your heart should be with your children, and if you do it for your children, then you're always going to do it right. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I do the things I do. That's why I surround myself with like-minded people. You know what I'm saying? In order to educate the youth. That's the problem right now. A lot of people are miseducated or uneducated. You know what I'm saying? That's because of social media or whatever. People got away from reading. You know what I'm saying? Then when you got away from reading, you lost real OGs, people who came and really inspired the young brothers to do better, who didn't want them to go down the same path they went down. You know what I'm saying? Because I went down a rough path. You know what I'm saying? And if I could do it over again, I would do it a different way. You know what I'm saying? But I can't do it over. I learn from my mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do it a better way. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to inspire my kids to be great. You know what I'm saying? People used to be real leaders. You know what I'm saying? They used to talk about being real things in life, not only basketball players, you know what I'm saying, or football players, singers, rappers, all that, you know what I'm saying? But the ones who were in those positions used to lead from those positions. Now, people don't lead from them, you know what I'm saying? People are too scared about what the public's going to say. You don't want to lose your popularity. Everybody's worried about likes, views, you know what I'm saying, being Mr. Popular. I don't worry about that. I worry about doing what's right, doing what my heart tells me to do. And as long as you do what your heart tells you to do, you're always going to do what's right. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and that comes with religion or whatever. You could believe in whatever God, but you know right from wrong. You know what I'm saying? And as long as we keep instilling the proper values into our kids, and that's why we're starting a mentoring group. You know what I'm saying? And right now, we like my brother Rod said, we came together, a bunch of good brothers, you know what I'm saying, young and older, you know what I'm saying, using what we have to make things better. It ain't about no one leader. It's about all of us doing what we need to do to get the job done. You know what I'm saying? And when you got like-minded brothers coming together like that, ain't no way we lose. You know what I'm saying? So this is I feel like what we need to do. We need to inspire each other. You know what I'm saying? Like when you see your brothers, when you see your sisters, you know what I'm saying? Speak. Everybody act like you scared to speak to people. You know what I'm saying? Scared to say good morning. You know what I'm saying? Give people hugs. You know what I'm saying? When last time you just gave somebody a hug? You know what I'm saying? You got to be a better person. Yeah, you got to be human, and it rubs off. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think going on right now. What we're doing is infectious. You know what I'm saying? People are starting to, like, doing the right thing is starting to become cool again. You know what I'm saying? So while it's being cool, we have to use it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I need people to stand up and be leaders. Be a voice in your community. That's the object right now. Be a voice for your people.
Well said. Well said. Okay, so we talked about some good things today. We made some points. Brother Rod said he's going to come together and he's going to put together a plan. We're going to sit down and we're going to talk about that plan of action. Talked about reaching out to the youth and making sure that we instill in them what needs to be instilled, helping to reach them, because right now, you know, I haven't even let my children really know all what's going on because it's so heavy. But, you know, there are young people that know, they see, they hear their mom and dad talking. So, you know, talking about the youth. Then, you know, listening to this brother here, he's saying, you know what, we're going to rally. We're going to use these rallies for recruitment. When is your rally, by the way? Let's say that real quick. I got about 20 seconds.
It's at 9 p.m. in Millers Park in Temple.
And that's today?
Today, yes.
Okay. Well, this show premieres on Sunday, so it'll probably be done, but that's okay. We are live right now on Facebook. Hey, Facebook world. A lot of people are commenting today, which is Saturday. We are going to be having there's going to be a rally in Millers Park, which is in Temple, and we're going to talk about, you're going to, you know, address some things and recruit, and let's just come out here peacefully, folks. If you know, peacefully, people, you know, let's come together and make some things happen.
I have a quote that goes, a want must be present for a need to be established. It don't matter what you need to do until you want to do it. All this talking ain't gonna matter.
That's good. And with that note, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. My name is Toni Ringgold. Thank you so much for tuning in to Sundays at the Square. Thank you for tuning in to Sundays at the Square. My name is Toni Ringgold, and I'm your host. Today we're talking about a very sensitive subject. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about the state of our country. As you know, there have been an influx of deaths, black deaths in the country, and as well as police officers that have recently been slain. I actually read a few more stories about some police officers, not just in Dallas, but in some other places that have been shot. Some have been killed. Of course, we know about the ongoing issue with police brutality and the murders of countless blacks that have gone unnoticed. There hasn't been any justice, and it's just unnecessary death. I saw a video on, I think the Mic did it, and they were talking about the reasons why these people were killed. One person was killed because they were laughing, broken tail light, failure to signal, playing with a toy gun in a park, playing with a toy gun in Walmart. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And so I couldn't do a show without touching on this. It's one thing to always report and talk about the happy things, but there's also some times where you got to be real and you got to really talk about, you know, the issues. And like I spoke on it before, I'm all rallied out. However, what I'm wanting to know is, what is it that we're going to do as a community to really affect some real change? So right now I have some dynamic people. This is part 2. We had an amazing set of people come in before, and I grabbed Rodney and made him stay. But we do have a couple of, actually 3 more dynamic black men that are in the room right now, and I want to allow them to introduce themselves. Starting with you.
Hello, my name is Ronnie Russell. As I pull up to the mic, I just turned 40, and I'm the owner, CEO of Texas Black Pages, the black business directory for the entire state of Texas. And I'm a single father, so I'm passionate about what's going on with these young black men, because if it happened to my son, what will I do? And that's what we're here to talk about, because if it was our son, your cousin, your brother, your sister, your uncle, what would you do? And these are the changes that we need to address in order for us to go forward, because when it hits home, it could be too late. But let's talk about before it hits home, what are we going to do? What are our objectives?
Absolutely.
I'm Richard White, known in my community as Shake the Poet. I'm a spoken word artist. I'm a public speaker, an advocate by birth, simply because I am a black man. I am a father. I am a retired service member, an American citizen, and I'm just fed up. And it needs to be changed, and I'm willing to work for that change.
I'm Eugene Alexander, real estate professional from Central Texas. I'm a student of Dr. Claude Anderson, and I believe our overall focus should be economics, buying black, so we can hire black and circulate the dollars within our community. And we should patronize each other as much as we can. And that's a lifelong process that I signed up for. So thank you.
Absolutely. And then Mr. Duckett, I'm going to let you introduce yourself. There may be some listeners that are just tuning in, so I want them to hear from you.
Hey, my name is Rodney Duckett. I'm with an organization called Impact, stands for Intelligent Minds, Proven and Applying Commitment. We focus on three things in the community. Number one, individual. Number two, family. And number three, society at large. And our key principles are commitment, staying committed.
I like that. You know what? Let's start there. Commitment. Because if you tuned in before, one of the things that I was asking one of the brothers who's doing a rally, I said, you know, what do we do when the rally is done, when we have completed everything and we've blown out our candles, we've sang our We Shall Overcomes and Kumbaya? What do we do then? Where does the commitment come from, and what are we exactly going to be committing to? So heard some very good points from some other people, but I want to know, Eugene, you talked about the black dollar. Talk to us about that, and what can we do with our money to really affect some change?
Redirect the dollar. We have $1.1 trillion in spending power within the black community, but only 2 cents to a dollar goes to a black-owned business. So yes, ma'am. We need to redirect our focus and start patronizing each other instead of patronizing the Chinese, Italian food, German food. You don't ask why Chinese people have Chinese workers in a restaurant. We got to change the mindset of our people of patronizing each other. My overall goal is I find properties at a 40 to 50% below market value. And as I build my portfolio, my overall mission and objective is to put black families within the community. And when I started out, I met Hispanic people. That's all they do. They find these houses. They put their families in there, might be 2 or 3 families. They build that house up and they branch out in the community. So I believe we should have that same approach in regarding of supporting each other. Real estate will always be here. You will always need a roof over your head. And I decided that's the focus and a lifelong focus that I signed up with, being part of with Ronnie, with Texas Black Pages, bridging the gap with black-owned businesses, just being a foot soldier, a foot runner. I've been meeting a lot of black-owned businesses, so I know teaming up with him would be a great mission. Rodney Duckett, he's very transparent in the community. I met Brother Shake over here. I do poetry myself. And, you know, these brothers right here, they're very transparent and very passionate. And I just surrounded myself around other people. But my main focus is economics. We have to be able to create jobs and create communities and support each other's and put aside our differences regardless of religion, women issues, because this is a black issue, not anything else outside of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So we talk about recycling the black dollar. 2 cents on the dollar. That's just crazy. Real crazy. So we are fortunate to have someone in the room right now who created an end to an excuse, really. The owner, creator of Texas Black Pages, Mr. Ronnie Russell, is here. I want you to talk a little bit about Black Pages. I had you on before talking about it, but I want you to brief the people because there may be some people that missed that show. And tell us what you're doing, what's your objective, what's your goals, and tell us a little bit about even some of the businesses that you have within the directory.
Of course, what Texas Black Pages, which is the Black Business Directory for the entire state of Texas, not just Killeen, not just Austin, not just Houston, not just Dallas, but we're looking at the entire state. I do know there's other Black business directories. My goal with them, because I did sit with the owner of Soul City, the owner of the Houston Black Pages. He reached out to me today. My goal with that is inclusion. The app that I'm creating, which should be out at the end of the month, is to take all the Black directories that is in the state, put them all under one umbrella, to allow every business in the state of Texas to be visible. Because to me, there's a big difference between the word support and to patronize. You cannot patronize these businesses if you don't know where these businesses are at. You can't say no one's coming through your door if you're not allowing yourself to be visible at all costs. One of the main things that I coined, which is called full spectrum visibility, at every cost, whether it's an app, whether it's Facebook should not be your only way that you're trying to be visible. Because if I don't know the name of your Facebook page, and I'm not going to be in your Facebook looking at where your business is. So the directory is just another avenue. One of the good things is, it's the relationship. It's the relationship with these businesses, whether you're going to Bobby B's Soul Food or Glendora's, or you're going to Ava's, or you're going up in Dallas, or you're going to Houston, when you're looking at people, whether it's an IBO or Mary Kay or whatever, it's getting them together under one roof. Because when you're under one roof, you're able to be seen. You're able to be heard. You're able to be patronized. The Black dollar will stay in the community a whole lot longer because we know where to transcend that money and put it into who actually is the owner of that individual place. Just like in the city of Killeen right now, we have one Black-owned grocery store. That Black-owned grocery store is close to Glendora's. If you didn't know where that Black-owned grocery store was, you can go on Texas Black Pages and find that grocery store, because if we're talking about transitioning our money into putting it into Black establishments, then if that grocery store has everything that you need, instead of going to Family Dollar or going to Dollar General, then you should take that Black dollar and put it into that place. Because why? They provide the same amount of need that you need to allow your household to be sustained with your daily needs for the home. So if you as a business owner is not in Texas Black Pages registered as a business, as an IBO, as a professional, then honestly, I'll honestly say you're wrong, because I'm not looking for a dollar. I'm not looking for you to give me money to put yourself in a directory. My goal, my vision, my purpose in life is to build a community, because with building a community, then you create that village. It takes a village. It didn't start when Nancy Reagan went over there. We had villages way before Nancy Reagan went to Africa and came back home and she coined the phrase, it takes a village. No, we had villages before any white person went over there. I'm not racist, but I look at my race. I look at what we have as a people. I look at what we have as a nation. And we do have those who we're carpenters, we're blacksmiths, we're presidents now. We have politicians, we have athletes, we have arts through poetry. We have activists, to where we can gather all these resources and put them under one umbrella. This past week, I had a meeting with the Urban League, and they're putting Urban League under that umbrella, getting all the chambers of commerce, putting them under the one umbrella, because if I know where you are, I'm coming for you. Why? Because I see you. If I don't see you, I don't know you. Not that you don't exist, is you're not allowing yourself to be in existence or visibility.
Well, there it is, folks. So, TexasBlackPages.com, TexasBlackPages, plural.com. You can go, you're Black-owned business, register. If you're looking for whatever, go on the directory. Look. Before you go and you look in the phone book or go on yellowpages.com to find whatever it is that you may need, go look on there. You never know. You may find exactly what you need. I don't know what type of businesses. Some of the things that you have on there, I know you named a few restaurants. You have, what are some other businesses?
Doctor.
You have a doctor? Wow, okay. Massage therapy? My Cloud, okay.
Dr. Lavelle Ford, the dentist out of Harker
Okay,
Heights.
Dr. Lavelle Ford, okay.
Yes,
Dennis.
We have Lavina, her Soul Natural Organic Restaurant. We have a variety of businesses on the directory, car dealerships.
Okay.
And even if they're not a black-owned business, we need to patronize the salespeople too. You know, they receive commission off of their sales. So if we can't patronize the black business, we still need to patronize the black salespeople and circulating their dollars, because that goes to their families. Then they can go to our community, and as well, that helps out that individual.
Do you know the name of the black-owned grocery store? Because that's so funny, because I was on the phone with Tay, who was an earlier guest yesterday, and I said, you know, there's certain things like, okay, I don't even know if there's a black-owned grocery store. I will drive. I live in Temple, but I will drive to Killeen just to patronize that store. Do we know the name of it? Okay, so what we're going to do is if you're listening, I'll make sure that I mention it next week. I may even be able to get it on the website. And also, I'll put it on my Facebook page when y'all get the names for me. You can look me up, Toni Ringgold, ToniRinggold. Make sure that you go on TexasBlackPages.com and you really patronize these businesses. I'm a black business owner myself. I am getting ready to open up a new office. I'm a vocal coach. And I also do music. Me and Shake have been on the same stage a couple of times. And absolutely love what I do. I have a variety of clients that come in. But what I will say is that it's not easy being a black-owned business. See, we hear this, all right, go get your DBA, go do this, and start this business. But when someone already has a preconceived notion of who you are, and they come into your place of business, and they look at your face, you know, I've had some clients come in, and I'm gonna tell you, they were skeptical when they first came in, and then they were like, man, you're amazing at what you do. And it was almost like a surprise. They were like, well, I'm here, so I may as well see how she does on this voice lesson. And then they love it. But, you know, here's the thing, you know, it's so important for our own community to support one another. I can't tell you how many times my people, I love my people, but I can't tell you how many times my people, so how much, is there any way that you could maybe give me a discount? For the lessons, and I'm like, really? You'll go somewhere else, you will pay full price, no questions asked. But because I look like you somehow in your mind feel like you are entitled to a discount. And I love what Ronnie is doing with the Texas Black Pages. He's giving people an opportunity for free, gratis, to come and put your business on the World Wide Web, so anyone can see. You are and what I love about what he's doing also is that every day, I get so tired of liking them posts, because every day he's posting constantly. Every time he adds a new business, or even other businesses, he'll share it again. I mean, this brother is really trying to build the community in a real way. And you're a fool, I said it, a fool if you do not patronize this. It's an absolute lucrative way for you to get yourself out there. But you know, black people, I'm gonna tell you, we can't keep coming to each other asking for discounts and handouts. Be prepared to really support. One of the three things, I want you to talk about that, Rodney, real quick, because I know you got to get out of here. But I want you to talk about those three things that you said that have to be eradicated in the black community in order for us to get to the next level. I want you to expound on that briefly. I know you got to go, but I do think that there's a psyche here that we have to break down, and it's embedded in us. It's been embedded in us for 500 years, you know, told us who we were and how we're supposed to think. And there's some things with, like you said, mistrust. I'm not going to go into it because, man, I heard this brother. Let me tell you about this brother real quick. Let me just preface this, and just let me let you know something. He is one of the most important people in this area for the change that we're trying to make. Rodney, I watched Rodney when I first moved to this area. Rodney probably don't know that, but I watched him when I moved here in 2010. Rodney, his locks were a lot shorter then. And, you know, he was rallying and nobody was listening. Catch that. He was rallying, fighting then, and nobody was really listening. They were hearing him, but they weren't listening. And now to watch and to see how now people are coming there sitting at his feet, because what he didn't do was he didn't quit. He talks about commitment. He stayed committed. And even though now it's still a struggle, I've watched how his star has risen. And not star as in fame, but the light is what I'm talking about. And, you know, I really admire you, brother. I want to let you know, like, I've talked to this brother on some real levels. He's helped a sister out. Matter of fact, I think we was on the phone for about an hour yesterday. Helped a sister out for real. But I want you to talk about those 3 things briefly, because that's really important in order for us to really break down and rebuild.
1710, there was a thing called meritorious manumission, was a system that was put in place, and the system was put in place that slaves will do all harm to other slaves in order to have investments there. Willie Lynch came up with a doctrine, and the doctrine, if you read the Willie Lynch letter, talks about 3 things: fear, envy, and mistrust. And that's one of the plagues that's put among us, which is called petty indifferences in the black community. Right now, you're beefing with someone in the black community based off petty indifferences, but what you got to remember is that they never put you in slavery. They never beat you. They've never tortured you. They've never mutilated you. They never castrate you. They never raped your women, but yet you have a petty indifference with them. So now it's our time as black people to get over those petty indifferences and come together and unite as one. So there's a lot of people out there right now. You're hurting. You're in pain. You have no direction. You don't know which way to go. What I ask for you to do is join any one of these organizations, and then later on we will have a massive sit down and talk. The first massive sit down we're having and talking is a unification rally with Brian Ward. That's just to bring the people out. And then from that point on, we'll have more in-depth, purposeful meetings when we line out our doctrine and what we're trying to do to work within the community. And it's going to embody economics, which is a foundation. It's going to also embody the political realm and what we need to do as a people to move forward.
Awesome. Shake, you talked about kids. I'm a mother. Thank you so much, Rodney. Rodney slipped it out, but we want to thank him so much for coming in today. Amazing person. But Shake, you know, I'm a mom. Right. I have 2 boys, 9 and 7, and I have a baby girl. And I'm going through it because, you know, I find myself battling with my own self. So they're boys, you understand? So they're strong-willed. They have a lot of energy. And, you know, they want to usurp their natural male bravado that they were born with. And sometimes I find myself being extra hard on them. All right, sit down, hurry up. No, because in the back of my mind, I'm going to be honest with you, what I'm thinking about is I got to make sure that they are obedient and they do what they're supposed to do, because I don't want them to grow up and talk back to a police officer and die. Right. Do you understand that that's like, do you understand that that's what I'm thinking?
Yes.
And then the other side of me is like, okay, but I don't want to break their spirit because I want them to be strong men. See, and that goes back to the Willie Lynch letter, because as the mother, what we were taught was we make these men become these docile, dependent creatures, and they lose their manhood because the mother is the protector and she's just trying to keep them from being harmed. I'm all messed up. Help us to step.
Well, the first issue we have to address when it comes down to that is the docile, obedient man is being murdered and slaughtered just the same. Slaves were killed just like soldiers were killed. So it's pointless to, you instill in the discipline and stuff like that because it's necessary, it's needed, it's important. However, that's not going to protect us at all. And we're seeing that more and more every day. The best thing for us to do is to get to know, put faces and names and relationships with those who oppress, those who protect and serve, those who befriend, those who don't know us. That's where we're at. We're at that point where you can't be in a black neighborhood and raise black boys, black girls, because when they get out into the world where there are blacks and whites, they're going to run into some issues. Same issue that a lot of white people who aren't in an area where there are black people, enough black people, they don't know us. So when they see us, they have intimidation issues, they have fear issues, they have, well, the media portrays us as, like you spoke on preconceived notions of who you are. And that's one of the issues Mr. Duckett and I were talking about, wanting to do something in our community where we get to know the police officers, because our city is very mixed. However, we don't know none of the police officers. I don't know if any of the police officers live in my city. I don't know if they know who I am, if they know who my child is. I have 3 children. My daughter's 13, 12, and 6. And not too long ago, we saw police officers. Well, we've been seeing police officers body slam 12-year-old girls. We saw a police officer throw a 12-year-old girl down and throw his 240-pound body on her back at a pool party.
Yep.
And I'd feel more comfortable if the police officer knew who my daughter was. If she was doing something wrong, hey, I know your father. So if we knew each other, we wouldn't have as many problems. It seems it would be easier if we knew each other, black people in our neighborhood, if we got to know each other, whether on an economic standpoint, if it was a religious standpoint, whatever it is, we have become so separated in everything that we do. So when it comes down to raising our children, that it takes a village doesn't exist.
Okay. Yep. You hit me in the gut, because I'm one of those. And I will say that this week I was proud of myself because I let a friend of mine watch my children. I don't do that. I don't. I'm uber protective of my children, but it's because I've been through a lot. So when you go through a lot, you find yourself being extra protective. But what I will say is that when my kids came back, they were so excited. They didn't even want to leave. Like, they were like, "Mama, can we kick it for a little bit?" And I'm like, "Okay, all right, But it does take a village. And what it did for me is it gave me an opportunity to do what I needed to do, and for a moment not have to worry.
Right.
There's so many black mothers. One of the universal things that I always hear them say, "How you doing, girl?" "Tired." "Whew, tired, girl." "What you been doing, girl?" "I'm tired." Like, we are tired because we have so much that we think about. It's hard being a black man in America, but it's hard being a black woman too. It really is. And, we do have to get to that village mentality. We do have to get to the point to say, okay, look, even within our own communities, and that's one of the things that Ronnie talked about, is that mistrust. Well, who are you? If somebody's correcting your kid, "Why you talking to my child?" Well, your child is running through the store cussing. You don't want me to tell your child nothing, but they acting a fool. And so I completely agree with you. I do have to play devil's advocate for a moment there. I know you said that maybe if we got to know these officers, that maybe something would change. And I do agree with that. But what about the officers like the 2 that just were fired in Williamson County for being a part of the Ku Klux Klan? There are some officers that have literally been placed in these positions that have done this generation to generation. They great-great-grandpappy was the one of the first officers after slavery. You know what I mean? And it wasn't the police officer institution was never even put in place to protect and serve. It was to police and make sure you weren't on our land and you stay in your place. So help me there.
Well, that's easy. You have police officers that were a part of the Ku Klux Klan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very few people may have known that.
Right. We got about a minute.
Let me get to know you. Let you get to know me. And I'm not saying we just meet each other. "Hey, how you doing? My name's Officer such and such.
Mm-hmm.
My first name's Frank. Hey, I'm so and so. I live here. This is my family." I mean, let's get to know each other. Because if I get to know you, I know what you're about.
You can see.
Mm-hmm. Police officers have been gunning down black men, and then after the fact, they want to put out our criminal background. You didn't know that when you approached me. I didn't know you were a Klans member either. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
One of the things we were talking about in the other room where you had the other group in here was that whole this
got about a minute.
This past that we have, whatever we've done, it makes no sense to me. To me, I can go Google the registered sex offenders in a 2-mile radius from my home. 6 white males. So if they were registered sex offenders, when I see them and I have my kids, I should be able to kill them. That's what you're saying when you're gunning down somebody who looks like me and you say, well, he had a criminal history.
That's right.
So let's get to know each other.
Let's get to know each other. Well, we're going to end on that note. This is definitely an ongoing conversation. And I will be having these brothers return as we make some change. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to Sundays at the Square. I am your host, Toni Ringgold. Thank you again. And hope that you really listened to what we talked about today. Hope that some listeners were, helped. And we're gonna continue to fight this fight. Y'all have a good day.